Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Little technical difficulty already. Waiting for Kathy to come on in. Hope you're having a good day so far. Can't believe it's already the beginning of August. Boy, this summer went by fast. Just give it a minute. Sorry about the hiccup here. Seems to always have a problem with these lives lately. Hi, Sandra. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Just give it a sec. I say a sec, but I don't know how long it's going to be. Hope you're doing good, Sandra. Hot and miserable here in Southern Cal. Yeah. Boy, it's we had a little break here in Illinois for a bit, and then now it's starting to get hot again, and I got an outside show this weekend, and it's supposed to be 90s with 100 heat index. Oh, I don't do well in heat, so we'll just see how it goes. Sorry this is taking so long. Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay.
We did it. We did it.
All right.
Hold on a second. Oh, geez, I got Jill on here. Sorry, Jill. Don't just disregard if I hit your name. Kathy, I'm not seeing you.
I'm here. I see on my phone you and me split.
You do?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Sandra seems to see me. Okay. We're both on.
Okay, good. Yay. Sorry about that, guys.
All right. Well, we didn't have really anything specific, but we did want to always get on live on the first Wednesday of the month. I'm off a day since I was off on Monday, traveling back from Chicago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'm finally ready to dive back into business with all the trips being taken now, with Costa Rica done, fleeing in Arizona done, getting my daughter to Chicago done. So yeah, I think it's time to get to business. So I don't know that we really had a chance to answer anybody's questions about Fling or products that were introduced. If you have questions about any particular sense or the new products or training, anything that you have questions on, we just really always like to have this be a live session for you guys to talk with us. So we'll give that a few minutes to see if anybody has questions, anything you want to put out there. And then Allison, if there's anything that you wanted to go over, we can certainly
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Let's see. The only ones I'm seeing on here is Carolyn. Welcome, Carolyn. Glad you're here. Um, yeah, if you have questions about Fling or anything, any of the new products, let us know. Also, just a couple of housekeeping here. We've mentioned the Ignite 5 group that Bob had started, and this is for distributors who are ready to take consistent daily action to grow their teams and build their businesses with purpose and hustle. So what you're doing is you're making a commitment to share 5 samples a day, and you post your experiences there, like who you connected with, how you met them, what the interaction was like, your wins, and even any challenges you have. So It's about showing up and creating momentum each day. And if this is something you'd like to do, just do a search on Facebook, the Facebook groups, and just search for Ignite 5 Mia Bella, and it'll pop right up. Also, I was just looking at the book club post that I did a week or so ago. So there's 9 people so far, 9 distributors so far in the book club, which I'm excited about. The book's called The Multiplied Method. And anybody ever heard of Sarah Robbins? Anybody heard of her before?
Yes.
I know you have. Anybody else? Sarah Robbins, network marketing leader. Okay. She's an author. She's a leader. She's built billion-dollar sales teams. So she really knows, the industry like the back of her hand. And I've read her other book. But she has this new book coming out August 12th called The Multiply Method. And she worked with her team to help them achieve success. This is how she worked with her team. So the book's coming out August 12th. You can get it on Amazon. And I also have the PDF workbook link down there in the group post about the book club. So we're planning on getting together once a week. There's 9 chapters and probably starting the beginning of September. We just have to figure out if there's any more people coming in on this and what day we're going to do it and time and things like that. So Jen has heard of Sarah. Yes, Sarah's awesome. So really, that's kind of what I wanted to mention. Also, at the top of our Light Your Dream Team group here, if you look at featured, that's a quick reference guide. I updated a little bit with some more links in there. This is a great tool to just glance at, and if you need the corporate's phone number, if you need to know the hours there, if you need to know what time our team calls are, our Zoom calls on the fourth Wednesday or third Wednesday of the month, things like that, and a bunch of training, tons of information are in there. All those links, how to do fundraising, how to do custom labels, how to do online parties, everything you need to know is there. So if you're ever wondering where I can find something, just go to the featured post to the quick reference guide. Anything to add on that?
No, I think that's good. That's a nice, good, concise go-to for a quick reference. But then, yeah, once you get to the website, there's all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah. Mary Ellen says she just pre-ordered the book and she watched some of her video earlier. Yep, she's wonderful. So far, Kathy and I are in the book club. Mary Ellen is, Jennifer Trapp, Christina, Jen O, Angie Foster, Tracy, Wazinski, and Linda Miller. So put your name in that thread if you're interested in joining us, and I'm hoping that this will help all of us. I'm always looking for new ideas and ways to grow my business, and I think this will be a good way for all of us to learn and grow together and just share ideas and, just get together on a Zoom and just go over any questions or any obstacles or something you didn't understand or how you implemented what you learned that week, things like that.
Yeah, and these kinds of things are meant to be very interactive. So not Alice and I kind of training and talking at you. We want your input. So, do your best to try to get the chapters read. We'll have to see how long they are and how long it takes us to get through it. If we can do it in a week, then that's great. And we'll discuss just that chapter, about things that she says, and then making plans to actually implement any suggestions that she has. And then the next week kind of follow up on how you did on the implementation or taking the action of things that she suggests. So we'll see how long those chapters are, and if we can get through one in a week, that would be great.
Yep, we'll see how that goes. I'm excited. I need to get into a new book, and this sounds like the perfect one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
with all the fall scents coming out, oh my gosh. And I got the fragrance oils. I tried it for the first time today. Oh, I love it. I think I put peppermint in today.
Okay.
It was real. I needed some um, motivation today. I needed to get going and get focused, and I
Yeah.
put peppermint in there. Then
And
I was rocking and roll.
yeah. And I'm more like I'm chilling with the lavender at bedtime. But I think that that diffuser is so unique. And again, we're not going to be selling these. You know, Bob made a one-time purchase just to be able to get some diffusers in our hands immediately so that we could try the oils. But they can go in any diffuser that you purchase anywhere. But these are kind of fun because of the various lights.
Yeah, the red, the green, the blues. I love it.
Pink, yeah, I really like it. It's kind of fun. But and you know, as we've talked about in the group, it is really, really, really important that you understand these are not essential oils, and we don't want to be marketing it that way.
I'm
Use it
sorry.
in essential oil diffuser, but it's not, and that's really what it's for, is diffusing. It's not to be ingested. It's not to be rubbed on your skin. It's just to be enjoyed in a diffuser. And they said that it is okay to, like in your warmer where you've got some wax melts melting, it's okay to put a few drops in that if you want to mix up the scent coming from that. But it really should be in some kind of a liquid, typically water. And in most diffusers, they do ask you to use distilled water. It helps keep things from clogging up so much. And that one thing that they did release at Fling was that little cleaner bottle. I've never really
Mhm.
seen that being offered with the diffusers that I've ever purchased with my essential oils. So I haven't tried it yet. Obviously, I haven't gone through a bunch of, you know, oils that they're starting to, you know, get it kind of clogged up. But I'm really anxious to have that on hand to be able to keep things clean and um, nice looking in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
we were really surprised to know that that was the new product release, which makes total sense. We were trying to guess, you know, what do you think it's going to be? And I don't know that anybody, you know, I think many people thought maybe the reeds, you know, where you had the oil in a
Yeah.
glass jar and then the reeds where the sit kind of makes its way up the reed. But we were really surprised when they announced the fragrance oils. And it was like with all of our new products, just as similar to the scent sways, the more purchases are made, the more that the distributors engage in the purchasing of it, then the opportunity for more fragrances to be released. So right now we've got 5 of them. And yeah, the better we do at purchasing and selling them, the more the company will release to us later on.
Yep, for sure. And I think they said at Fling that there was some others in the works or they were testing out or something like that. So instead of just the 5, we might be getting some more. But they, like any new product, they want to see how well it sells and see how big that will grow.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I like that comment about the plugins. That would be something that would be kind of cool. I wonder, I don't see why that couldn't be something that we could do with fragrance oils.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Carolyn had a question. She's trying to get products and gift shops here in Southern Arizona. Any recommendations? I know you're talking to a lady already, Carolyn, and I'm waiting for an answer. I just sent you an email. I'm waiting for an answer from Bob about the vendor pricing. As soon as I hear from him, I'll get back with you, I promise.
Well, always the best way to get product anywhere is to show it. You know, show up at the shop with the product in hand. If it's something that seems viable, you know, I have never ever had a problem leaving product, giving product to somebody to try and burn. And, you know, it can be just the 8-ounce jar. But if you really want them to experience, you know, the 16, it's a business write-off. So give
Mhm.
are, and then make a specific time to follow up with them. If they're not the decision maker, try to get in contact, or the, contact information for who the decision maker is. If you show up at a shop and there's just a salesperson or a cashier or something, ask them who the owner is, get some names and phone numbers and emails or information, and ask if you can leave a packet for them, a candle for them, and let them know that you will, follow up with them and see what they think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mary
Yeah.
Ellen said she received hers yesterday and can't wait to try them tomorrow. And she loves the Perfect Pumpkin Candle. I love that scent. It's really great.
Yeah, I haven't started burning mine yet, but I saw somebody, I don't know, it was Jody that had one lit up, and oh my goodness, here's what it looks like. I took the lid off, and my goodness, but there's the white crystal. And so in the picture of it burning, it was really reflecting through the jar, just beautiful orange reflection. So I can't wait to start burning it. But in Minnesota, we don't give up summer very easily. So I can't get into fall yet. We still got time here. But yeah, that smells wonderful. So
yeah, I can't get myself to burn the fall candles around here yet. I've got them all.
Yeah, for the mold cider. In fact, Kylie had given me an 8-ounce jar, handed it to me, and it said, like mystery scent on it. And I said, without taking the lid off, I could smell that it smelled like hot apple pie. I said, I know it's something, fall and spicy apple. And then we did come to find out that it was the brand new scent mold cider. And literally I could smell it with a lid on. So it's going to be it's going to be very popular. I have no doubt that will end up being a bestseller. But fall starts now, and like I said, in Minnesota, we're not ready to give it up, but a lot of the schools in the South, they start going back to school in August, and those that are doing shows, are purchasing their fall products and getting it out there for the shows to display. So really, August is the start of our best season here. August, September, October, November, December. So we've got many good months coming up here. So it's an exciting time to be getting going on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fall vendor events, if you're planning on doing something in the fall as far as vendor shows, you need to get those applications in like now to get spaces, because some of them you have to sign up for like in the springtime to make sure you're in. I got one this weekend here in Illinois, Saturday and Sunday. And we've had some really good weather here. And then all of a sudden, this weekend, guess what? 100-degree heat index, possible thunderstorms. But I'm going to do it. That's the only thing with the outdoor shows during the summer. You never know what they're going to turn out like,
Yep. August and September can be tricky.
But, vendor shows is a great way to get your name out there and advertise the fundraising opportunity, that we have, and advertise, the business opportunity, things like that. Have a little giveaway box so people can enter to win, have a QR code that goes right to your candle drawing link on your website, so people can enter to win, and then there you collect the names and emails, and a great way to start reaching out to them. Carolyn's sisters in New England have already ordered the malt cider and can't wait to receive them. That's awesome. And it's 105 there today too in Arizona. Yeah, my brother, we were in Arizona, my brother said that we came at a perfect time because it's never that cool. What was it,
95?
Yeah, he says it's never that cool when we came.
But yeah, it was beautiful. It was a really nice time to be there. We had a great time.
Yeah.
So to be with the team and experience new things and hang out with everybody, and in the medieval times, that was fun. Driving into Chicago, we saw the medieval times that they have there.
Yeah.
Or so outside of the city, and So they've got them in a couple of locations. So if you've never been to one, check it out and see if there's one near you, because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And they'll probably have Fling in Pennsylvania, I'm guessing, next year in Wilkes-Barre again, which is really awesome. If you've never been to Fling, and plan on going, start saving now. Kathy did the budget sheet, how to save, and got plenty of time to put a little bit away each month. Um, and I really think it's important to get to these conventions if you're looking to build your business. There's so much information. You'll walk away believing you can do it because you see other people doing it, and you're no different than anybody else. Anybody can do it. And by going to Fling, I think it really helps with you believing in yourself that you can build a business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important to try to go. Plan on going in next July to the one in Pennsylvania, and you'll either get a tour of the Niabella, and you get to go in the warehouse, and you get to see them make the candles and how everything works there, and how they ship things out. And their shipping there is unbelievable. How fast they get products shipped out. I've never seen a company that ships out like they do.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, Fling was fantastic. It was fun to see people like Jen for the first time, and others that have attended before, like Susan and Lane, and we missed those that typically have come to Flings, Tracy and Mary Ellen, and
Yeah.
a few of them that weren't able to make it to Pennsylvania. But that's kind of the beauty of having it every other year, one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast, so that if it's easier for you to get to or afford to go to one or the other, then yeah, make sure you get to that one. But now's the time to start putting that money away and saving so that you know that you can go. Yeah, Jody was asking me for some of my training on that today, because she's going to do a Fling recap with her team, and wanted to kind of share that information so that we get everybody thinking and preparing for Fling now, not next year when it's time. It's got to be in there now.
Yep.
Were there
Make a plan.
any of the other products that were released? The scent sways are doing well. They keep kind of adding. How many do we have now? 8, 9
Oh
cents?
my gosh.
How many have? Again,
I lost track. Well, they added the pumpkin apple. That just got added in there. Oh my word.
was already available. It was the spiced apple and fir that they just added for the fall. But pumpkin apple's been there. That was from last fall.
Yeah, it was from last fall, but I think they just added it back in
Yeah.
for the fall. Yeah, I think there's at least 8, probably 10 right now. And they go well at vendor shows.
Well, what a great opportunity to use it as a gift with purchase. Somebody that, and then one thing that part of the training, Elena had said, she never discounts her product. She was the largest retailer in the company last year and sold a ton of product. And she just really values herself and her product and her business, and just doesn't give it away. You go into Target or Macy's, and they're not just giving things away. They have value to their products. So I've never, I won't say never discount, but I've always preferred to give a gift with purchase, whether that was a Bella Bar or something like these scent sways. Yeah, they order 2, 3, 4, do that. Or when we had the candle stands, I would give that away. So always think about adding a product that is a different product line, something maybe that they haven't tried, to get them hooked on that, instead of saying, here, I'll give you $2 off of your 16-ounce jar. Buy 1 or 2 at full price, and then I'll give you a scent sway, which is only costing you, the wholesale amount. So it's really inexpensive to obtain a new product line for that customer.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else, Kathy? I don't see any other questions.
Okay.
Oh, I give Bella glasses free gifts with the purchase. That's great. That's a good idea, Carolyn.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Jen said Fling's amazing, and Lane said Fling was great. It was so good to see you two there. It was
Yeah.
so
And I
good to
can
meet
say how exciting
Carolyn.
it is when we've got team members that are getting called up on stage.
Oh, I was so proud of you guys. Oh,
Yeah. You know, we've had our time. We're now wanting the team to get up there and be recognized. And, you know, those that participated in the training for the first time. So Lane did a wonderful job in getting up there a few times about being a first time trip earner, being a, you know, promoting to director and then up to Ruby and, you know, doing shows. She kind of was I don't know what the word, I don't want to say lazy in her business, but just not as focused as she was after last year's Fling, where she dug in and got busy. So she did some training on that. And then, you know, Jen getting up there and telling her story about being at Fling for the first time too. So, man, it is so cool when we see team members getting up there, getting awards and promotions. And
I know. Doesn't it make you feel great, Kathy? I mean, just to see them up there and getting these awards, it just makes my day, you know? It makes my day to see you up there and being recognized like that because you put in the work and, you know, and they want to recognize you for that.
yes, exciting. So now's the time that we start building for next year's recognition. So, um, you know, that's again setting those goals. What is your intent? You know, do you want to promote? You know, director's always kind of that first major level of promotion. Obviously, you know, getting the bronze and silver and gold, those are always important first steps and are honestly some of the hardest steps to get through, you know, sponsoring your first 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, later on, then it gets easier as you get into the momentum. So those first promotions are really important. And now's the time to start planning, again, really in determining what is it that you want to achieve. You can't
Mhm.
get there unless you know what it is that you want. So if it is your desire to reach director, you know, and this is when the volumes start happening. Said mine's over 10,000 today for group volume. So people are starting to, yeah, over 10,000. I had a nice purchase today that was like $150. So yeah, people are starting to buy. So now's the time to get those volumes up. But in order to promote, remember, you need to have several aspects of it. You have to have your own personal volume, need a certain level, whether that's 44.95 or as you get a little bit higher, it needs to be the 100. And it needs to have, you know, a certain group volume and then the number of distributors personally that you sponsor, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, or if you get to 5, you know, you reach director. So it's really important that you understand the comp plan and what it is that you're going for in each of those elements. And then always, you know, several days before the end of the month that you're paying attention to where your numbers are. It's nothing more discouraging than, you know, the last day you didn't really kind of check and then realize, oh, holy cow, if I had only done, I would have been promoted, you know, so
Yeah. Oh,
understand.
that'd be scary. Yeah, if you're only like $10, $20 off, you
Yeah,
you got to keep an eye on your volume. Yes,
right.
especially if you're going for different ranks.
Right.
Definitely.
And your personal volume contributes to your group volume. So if it, yeah, it's perfectly okay if you get to that situation at the end of the month and you've got the number of partners that you're supposed to have and you've got your own personal volume at the minimum and your group volume is, yeah, $20, $25 away. You go in and you make a purchase yourself or you buy points for the Bella Bucks for the $25. Always don't even line it up exactly. Buy over a
Mhm.
little in case something happens, something returns and you don't actually get that credit, but always be paying attention to where your numbers are. And if you don't understand, or if you have a question when you think you're getting close, always check with us. We'll walk through the numbers and what the requirements are and see where you're at so that we can make sure that you don't miss a promotion. Because honestly, now's the time when those things start happening going into the fall. And obviously fundraising is going to start picking up. I'm yeah, now that I'm through all those trips, I'm going to get heavily going into that. I had somebody today want to have one of the sample fundraisers forms sent out to them. Another guy last week asked for it. He's going to present it at the school and hopefully get a yes on us starting with that. And one of the schools, the high schools, had done fall last year and then did spring, and already are planning on doing a fall. We don't have anything set up as of yet, but I'm kind of expecting that we'll get that one going. But fall is the dance studios start. We've had lots of success with dance studios doing fundraisers, but things like lacrosse teams. And it doesn't, you don't have to go into it thinking it's a big school district, like, elementary classes, like the kids, used to do, where the whole school is doing some kind of thing. You don't, those are big and those are hard to get. So, Allison has been very successful in doing a lot of really little fundraisers. Little fundraisers really add up to some big numbers. Nothing wrong. Yeah, good. Yep, talking to dance studios, because my daughter did dance for many years, and I'm telling you, it's expensive. You have to buy a costume for every single dance style, which then entails a different pair of shoes. You have to have tap shoes, ballet shoes, hip hop shoes. So just the costuming itself is expensive, and then you have to start paying for the classes all fall, that your weekly normal training, and then in the spring when they start going to competitions, that's hundreds and thousands of dollars that you're spending for these things. So we have an awesome opportunity then to help those families get through that. And Lane's done really good with her fundraisers on helping individuals that might be dealing with, some kind of an illness. That's why the cause candles, she just killed it on being the top 1 or 2 or 3 at almost every single one of the cause candles. So, she's been on helping other people with, either the Alzheimer's or the ALS. She did really good with that. So, don't forget those kinds of things too. I just really want you not to think that fundraising is all about using the elementary schools. There's so many other ways to fundraise.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different groups you can contact, and you don't have to contact just in your little town. If you live in a small town, you go outside your town, you Google search dance teams, Google search, different sports teams or clubs or whatever. There's so many places you can reach out to. And the Kathy does most or a lot of them out of state. I mean, you could do a fundraiser in a different state. So it just depends. And, if you're advertising on social media with fundraising or any part of the business, you're going to reach people that aren't right in your area. So as far as a fundraiser, you would work with them just like you would a regular fundraiser. The only difference is the products are being shipped to them instead of to you. And they would have to sort the products out and all that. That's the only difference. Otherwise, it's all the same. And if you want to learn how to do it, go to those 2 fundraising links that's in the quick reference guide, and just watch those 2 videos and take notes and get with one of us with your questions. Because it really feels great when you finish a fundraiser and the group is happy and they made money. I just love doing it now. I was scared to do it like 4 years ago. I was chicken. And then till Dance Studio said, okay, I'm ready to go this fall. And I was like, okay. So I get a hold of Kathy and I'm like, Kathy, I got a fundraiser. What do I do? She goes, Allison, you know what to do. Just do it. I'll be here to help you, and let's just get through it. And we did it. It went awesome. And they sold over 100 candles. So it was, and they've been doing it. This is their 4th year they're doing it.
Amazing.
I just don't have a date yet either.
Yeah, no, you've done very well in getting repeat fundraisers. And, something that I learned, and I'm not quite sure how to overcome this, but, I have my fundraising list, my email list, and I sent out something about the new fall scents. And I had about 3 emails bounce. And then I realized that the coordinator that I had been working with had obviously graduated. one of them was from a community college, and he no longer has that school email address. So I thought, darn, okay, so maybe in the working with them, either ask for like a personal email if they're willing to do that, or now I'll kind of, I know what his extension of his email is, Ryan at the community college, and then maybe get to that website and see if I can find a new contact then for somebody that might be representing that school. But that was something that I hadn't really even thought about until I got some bounces, and I'm like, oh, well, they were adults in young adults in college. That makes sense. They're done. They graduated. So
Yep. That happened to me. Like, this is the 4th year with the high school prom. They do the fundraiser, and every year there's different teachers that take over the junior class. So I have to find out who the next person is, or I'm sending emails to the wrong person. So when you get to the schools, you might have to double check if something bounces, go on the website, look up the staff, the departments, and you could usually pick up the emails there.
Yeah, so I'm excited to start getting more people looking at fundraising and getting going. It was really interesting to see the numbers that corporate did announce at Fling. I can't remember now, was it 195,000, something like that was donated through fundraising? So that's
198.
98. Yeah. So that's exciting to know that we're helping them with that much money. So, and it's really always been kind of a Bob's baby, because that's how he got involved with Carmen in the early days, was doing fundraising for Michael's basketball. So it's always been kind of close to his heart, but he really has the goal that we become, the largest, bestest fundraising company in the nation. Not just, a candle company that does well with fundraising, but he wants us to be known as the fundraising company and get out there and, help thousands and thousands of people. And, over the years, that really, it has, it's millions of dollars that get donated. So let's kind of get working on that. But now really is the time for you to spend some time thinking about what your goals are. It's always nice to kind of do that in December, right before the new year. And you kind of have to think of August as the new year for the candle season. So what is it that you want to achieve? If you're working full time, taking care of children, you don't maybe have as much time. It's always like I was doing on the, the financial training, is you have to have a plan. It's just too easy to just every day just come and go, and with no focus, you get nowhere. You have the same tools, the same abilities, nobody's special. It's just who's focusing, who's making a plan, and who's following through with it. So if you can't do all the things that we just described, that's okay, but you got to pick something. Are you going to do the recruiting to try to get your promotions? Are you going to do the fall vendor shows? Are you going to do the fall fundraising? If you're, home and this is all you do, great, engage in all of that. But, for most of us, that's not the case, and we may not have all the time. So pick what is of most interest to you. What do you really feel passionate about? Learn as much as you can about that method of building your business, and then dig in. You decide, okay, this is the method that I'm going to use. This is how many shows I'm going to book in the fall. This is how many candles I want to sell, and then go out and make it happen. So that's the biggest thing right now.
That's
Decide
all.
make a.
Lane said she's working on the breast cancer one already. Awesome, Lane. And she talked to a dance studio tonight. Great job. Sandra said, I'm working with my sister to do one for a charity her workplace donates to in Albuquerque. That's awesome, Sandra.
Good, yeah.
And one thing I want to just mention too, if you are looking to promote, if you're looking to build a team in your business, I highly suggest finding a running partner or an accountability partner, somebody that is kind of where you're at and wants to reach, say, the first and second ranking, and then or somebody wants to reach gold and maybe hit director by the end of the year or next year, and check in with them once a week. Let each other know what they're doing, and just bounce ideas off each other, whether it be good things that happened to you that week, share them, or if it's obstacles that you had, share that too. But just somebody with the same vision as you, where you want to go, see if you can find a person like that that will run with you. And that seems to help. Last Not last year, the year before, I was a running partner with a gal. She's not even on her team, but she and I checked in with each other each week, and told each other what we were doing, who we're contacting. We wanted to get the fundraising going. And it was so funny because last year at Fling, her and I, for our fundraising sales, were $300 off each other. $300. This year, we were fourth and fifth in fundraising. So we kind of pushed each other and encouraged each other and kept going. And it was so strange that last year we were right next to each other with the numbers at the end of the year. And this year we're right next to each other again. Isn't it amazing? So I think it could help some people that like to work with a partner and for some motivation, encouragement. Kathy and I are always here for you. But sometimes, running with somebody else too, might work for you.
Important to pick somebody, and again, it doesn't have to necessarily be somebody on our team. It could certainly be somebody that you met at Fling that's kind of at that same level. But I think it has to be kind of an equal partnership. You don't want somebody that necessarily is below you and maybe bringing you. Want somebody that's going to motivate you, somebody that you can see that's maybe a step above you and see what they're doing and take their advice and be motivated by what they're doing and the encouragement that they can give you. But you don't want somebody that's maybe way above you, either in rank or ability to time wise dedicate to their business, because then you get discouraged, because you don't have that same ability and time and money to invest. So if you find somebody that's kind of on your same level, then I think it can be really powerful. Not somebody that's below you and not somebody that's way above you, but somebody that a little bit you can stretch to get to learn from them. Yeah, it's helpful if you do have a bad day. You can talk about it and they can pull you through, because Allison and I talk every day, multiple times a day, on all kinds of things, and encouraging and planning and getting it all together. So definitely find somebody on the team. You can certainly post that in the group saying, I'm looking for an accountability partner, somebody that wants to run with me, somebody. And it doesn't mean that you have to even have the same method of building. Maybe you want to do vendor shows and they want to do fundraisers. That's okay. Kind of, if you get kind of stuck in your thinking, maybe somebody outside of not really doing that could say, well, did you think about this? Or what about that? And give you some new ideas.
Right. Yep, exactly. Just something to think about.
Well, it's an exciting time. Yeah, it's really always coming off of Fling is always exciting. Just what a great opportunity. And then, we get to write the whole thing off as a business expense. So, we had fun. Got to eat wonderful and hang out with friends and spend time in the pool. And, even on the last day when most people had already left, we stayed a little bit longer, and I was actually hanging out in the pool with the two representatives from the Phoenix Fragrance Company, and just talking and kind of picking their brains and talking about. It was kind of fun. They had, what was there, like 4 or 5 different scents that are the possibilities coming up, and they had us vote on it live in some kind of an app, and so they had some really funky names. And so we talked about, you can't name that because nobody knows what that is. But it was, just really fun to get their feedback and then provide my feedback from, being in the company for 20 plus years of my experience and what I had learned and known. But the live counting was kind of like, number ones. Oh, here comes, was it like number 6? And then there was like the 3, 4, they were kind of, nobody was really all that interested in there, but like that number 1 and 6 were like, woo, back and forth on who was going to be the lead. So now the company will kind of investigate that scent, put it in some wax and start experimenting with it, and have a new scent coming out. But it's really amazing and very difficult for a company to come up with a brand new scent every month. That's 12 a year. That's quite a feat, because it's not just put a little scent in a wax. They have to figure out the concentration of the fragrance in the wax with the thickness of a wick that's going to burn properly. There's, several different wicks that they use. Some burn hotter, some don't. So there's a lot of experimenting that goes on, that the corporate office, they're burning these samples from the fragrance company, and sometimes they'll be like, yeah, that doesn't quite work. Can you tweak it this way? Can you do that? And then they'll burn that for a while until they finally come up with something that does work. But that's pretty incredible that we get a new product every month. It's always nice after Fling, because there's going to be something new to go back to your customers with. But that's one thing that builds a very successful business, is when you're able to go to your customers over and over and over with not the same old. It's not like you've got 5 cents and you're like, hey, you want another hot apple pie? Hey, you want another vanilla? Hey, you want another hot apple pie? It's always a reason for you to go back to your customers with something brand new and get them excited. That's what builds long-term customers, large customer bases, is that the company does this for us. So it is a pretty exciting thing. Like I have that. I need to, summer's hard, get busy, and I want to be outside so much. I haven't burned as much, but I was able to get the dragon fruit guava at Fling, and I love it. I want to start burning it, but I want to start burning several of them that I got. I should just start flaming them up and having the whole house. But I mean, look at that color. Isn't that just awesome? That beautiful purple wax. So yeah, I'm anxious to start burning this one too. So lots of new scents coming out. All right. Well, Allison, did you have anything else? Yeah.
No.
Right.
I just remember Michael saying there was over 100 wicks they use. 100 different wicks for these candles. It really is a science.
It is.
Putting the wax and the fragrances and the notes and just everything, how it blends and burns, and the wicks, how they burn too low or too hot. And, it's a science. And they do a great job figuring out each candle and how it burns the best.
Yeah. And the beauty is we aren't the ones having to do that. We just get to buy it, we just get to sell it, and we get to make the money. So yeah, it's a good deal.
Yeah, it sure is.
All right. Well, we'll have the Zoom training on August 13th. And let us know what you want some training on. It would be really nice in the meantime, learning about soy wax and pesticides. Yeah. People think that soy is the best thing, and it's not. If you really dig into deep on why that's not the best alternative. So, we're probably
absolutely. You know what? That's so true. People advertise 100% soy. Yeah, they're 100% soy. They're natural. Yes, we get that. But that's not all that's in there to make the soy wax perform. There's additives in there. Soy is 100% natural. Yes. But
they
really tell you the other things.
And, and it takes hundreds of acres versus, a palm tree where you're taking a fruit off of a palm. That tree gets to stay and continue to grow, and the area around it stays naturalized for the animals. So it's not something that's constantly being, turned up and the animals displaced. You get a palm tree, and it's just taking the fruit off of that, and that fruit just regenerates, but the tree stays there, and it takes far less acreage to harvest the wax from the palm. Yeah, there's lots of good things, and we've kind of discussed that on the group, that Scentsy seems to be releasing some soy candles here. So we're probably going to get a lot of questions about soy and, what's the difference, and are we soy or are we not soy? And I thought you were natural. Yes, we are. So yeah, make sure you educate yourself on the difference between the two and why palm wax is a better alternative.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. In the meantime, I posted my training, the financial planning, and Allison posted her training on fundraising in the group, what we did at Fling. So it would be really advised that you do watch the training and implement what you learn and get going, and then let us know if there's any ideas, anything that you want to go over, have us kind of train on for August 13th coming up. Okay. Otherwise, yeah.
sounds good.
Group, and thanks so much. We appreciate you guys, and let us know if you need anything.
Yep. Have a good night, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.